Yo, welcome to another episode of Surface Originals. I'm Jacques Slade. Today, we're taking things up a notch. Known for his radically original one-of-one designs and massive influence in the stitch-up or soul swap design movement, I'm super excited to be joined by the infamous founder and creative director of Ceeze, Connor Seltz. But that's not it. We also have the resident sneakerhead and chief product officer of Microsoft, Mr. Lightflex on the gram, Panos Panay, who will share his massive love of sneaker design and his own experience in being heavily influenced by the ethos of sneaker design with his innovative, game-changing product development work at Microsoft. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jacques. It's good to see you. It's awesome to be here, and it's awesome to be here with Connor for sure.
No, absolute pleasure. Good to see you both. Excited to get into it and chop it up today.
So we all know Adolf Dassler and how he was experimenting with various leathers and spikes and straps in his homemade workshop. Or you think of someone like Peter Moore and his rebellious choice of breaking the color rules set forth in the early days of the NBA through his design of the iconic Air Jordan 1. More recently, we have people like Virgil Abloh, whose reinterpretation of classic Nike and Jordan silhouettes was absolutely crazy in my mind. Each of them I would consider to be rule breakers that continue the legacy of sneaker design, pushing the boundaries of traditional design and setting the tone for the culture's ravenous appetite for the hottest new styles and kicks. Panos, let's start with you. How does classic design show up even in avant-garde methods like stitch-up, which in spirit looks to actually, I would say, break the rules of traditional design that are meant to be upheld?
When you look at the design points that you're talking about, or the creators, and whether that's through history or now, what you start to see is you start to see this collection of designs that not only influence the now, but are kind of directing the future at the same time.
Is there something equivalent to this in your world?
I think they're related in so many ways. It's part of why I fell in love with shoes, or re-fallen in love with shoes. You know, I would love sneakers as a kid. There were so many things that drove me to sneakers. There were so many moments and growing up that were so powerful to me. And then when you see how they're created and then you see what they can become, it's incredibly powerful. Just relate that to being a producer now, or a creator now, or somebody who's part of an incredible team that can see things that they need to put together in a beautiful way. I think they're almost one and the same to me. When we make a product, when we create something, we put our love into it. We just want people to feel that.
No, and I think you're absolutely right. The feeling that we get from sneakers is something that's pretty essential to the storytelling and why we wear those shoes. To Connor, you are a maker with your hands. How does the mediums that he spoke about impact the work that you're doing?
If we take a huge step back, 20, 30 years in New York, where did sneakers start? They started uptown. Customizations on Air Force Ones has spawned the whole industry. And you still see that today. Different laces, different ways to embellish your product. It's funny because what we do by nature is the sandbox for creativity. It literally is what's sitting on the table in front of me as well. Youth culture continues to be the biggest driver, not only in footwear, but in fashion. Small trends go to fast fashion. They become waves overnight.
Panos, what elements of stitch-up design do you borrow from classic design theory, and what is the largest rule breaker or disruptor of it that you see?
As a product maker, there's that moment of, it's not necessarily fear, but it is vulnerability. I have to stretch because I think the product has to become something new. It has to change in either form or function in a way that people haven't asked me to change it. They haven't asked the team for this, but we believe it's where it needs to go.
So Connor, thinking about the differences between your worlds and Panos. So in Panos' world, everything has to come out exactly the same because customers expect that their surface is going to be exactly the same as the surface that they get that their best friend has. Everything's supposed to be the same. As opposed to your world, Connor, where you have a little more leeway to personalize things. Do you feel that the personalization helps? Or would you rather have everything be exactly the same? That way you're giving that exact same expression to everyone.
In my heart, every product that walks out of the door, that I box, I ship, we ship, it's all the same. To answer your question with an exact statement, there is a direct line of what it has to be, and if it's not there, it walks back. And that line goes through everything, whether it's 50 pairs for a corporate project or that one pair for, said person's father who's turning 70. If it's not good enough, it doesn't go out the door.
I love hearing it. That passion in product making, Jacques, when I hear it from Connor, if you care about it at that level, at every detail, it's going to reflect in the product itself when somebody picks it up. Or in this case, somebody puts it on.
It's time for one of my favorite parts of this series. Connor, I understand you've been working on a concept for a design. Can we see what you got for us?
This is where I want to say no just to be sassy, but I got you guys, don't worry. So one of the biggest things we all see is sustainability. The idea that we started with, it's this East River Air Jordan 1. It's this kind of idea of recycling trash into a more sustainable product, a product that not only speaks to the neighborhood, but something that I personally have spent hours of my time in. This is a shoe to me that really is this kind of inclined journey through harder obstacles. And I think it really builds a lot of parallels between the journey Microsoft and Panos has had in the product that we're holding and talking about today.
I have to share two things with you. Like these elements, you don't understand, I am in love with them. Because I think they're so, that moment of iconic that's created, and by the way, the word icon can't be something that we deem, it's something that happens. And these shoes have done that. And you can see not only the thought, but the love that went into that shoe or that design. That element translates for me, and it translates like a risk taken, but somebody who has an eye to understand there's something different here, but it's meaningful, I think shows up.
How does a large company like Microsoft embrace emerging design disciplines like customization that is really all about individual expression when you have to think about large manufacturing volumes, and that's core to your company's growth? How do you blend those two worlds?
Those details, the people that believe in it, that understand that every single detail mattered in that product, from the way it felt to the way it held up, of course, because it's a tech product and it needs to hold up. That is a simple example for you to say, look, you can bridge these two areas. One where you need to get to perfection, but then you need to get to large scale manufacturing of that perfection. And then ultimately with that quality, you end up with product love. That's it. This is where they make it their own. And once they make it their own, then that's the most meaningful thing to somebody like me.
Panos, you said it so well. I'm not a cult leader, but there's so many people who buy in, who love the details, who love every inch and methodical practice that goes into the shoe. You can make any idea, and that process from small increment of swatch, quick call out to final product it really is this journey that a select few through all industries and verticals really get the chance to understand and really, I feel, embark on through their career. And Jacques, much like you're here with us all too, you go through the same process. It's literally just a different medium.
As I said before, these guys, they inspire, they innovate, they create to push culture forward in their own way to make all of our lives better.
I'm super grateful to have spent the time with you today, Jacques. Connor, being here today has been an inspiration. It was wonderful to meet both of you.
Again, it was an absolute pleasure. We'll let you go, but thank you for being here today.
All of you guys, make sure you stay tuned for more exciting episodes of Surface Originals as we turn our focus on other exciting genres of design. Until next time, this is your boy Jacques Slade signing off with another episode of Surface Originals. Peace. Yo, thanks for watching this episode of Surface Originals. We appreciate you. If you want to see the full reveal of the sneaker created right here on this episode, all you have to do is tap in over on my channel and I'll be doing a full unboxing of the sneaker created on the show. I'm Jacques Slade and I'll see you soon. Peace.